AskReddit by SPQ Roman Spartacus. What still has not recovered from the COVID-19 shutdown? 24/7 library hours at my university. What? This is some bullshit. I'm not longer a student, but I would be pissed about this. Is there anywhere on campus where you can at least study 24/7? Doctor apt availability. I legit do not understand how the doctor-patient relationship is supposed to work in 2023. I feel like if something comes up, my options are A. Urgent care. B. Make an appointment for 3 months by now. By that point the issue will either have resolved itself or have gotten bad enough that I need to resort to option A. What do people really mean when they say talk to your doctor? Hours of some places were reduced and they never went back to their old hours, and a couple of restaurants closed their dining room and went to takeout only, and they stayed that way. Deleted. Used car prices. Insane how expensive vehicles are nowadays. I remember in 2018 buying a brand new Honda Civic for something like $18,700. It was the most basic version of the Civic you could possibly buy. 3.5 years later, I sold it to CarMax for $19,000, despite it being 3.5 years old, having 52k miles on the clock, and your typical dents and scratches from regular use. Sometimes I go to car dealer websites to see what's on the market and being sold nowadays. I'll see 3-5-year-old cars being sold for the same price or higher than when it was new. So like 2018 Civics being sold for $22,000. It's astounding. Price of groceries, and pretty much everything else. It just started hitting me that cost of living is only going to go up. These prices are locked in now. Even if inflation gets down to the target 2%, that means 2% higher than what they are today. Not 2% higher than a few years ago. I'm in Boston and most places charge $7 for a scoop of ice cream, $11.18 for a sandwich, $25.35 for a normal sit-down entree. It's fucking crazy, and it's never gonna get back to normal. This is the new normal. My dog's vet doesn't allow us in the clinic. They are still practicing curbside drop-off. I love animals. It's the people I can't stand. All day breakfast at McDonald's. Here I am just begging for a cheeseburger at 10:15 AM. Measurement of time. For a lot of people, the 2 years COVID lasted was like time was put on pause. Yes. When I refer to last year I could mean anywhere from March 2020 to the 31st of December, 2022. 24-hour Walmart. 24H stores were my favorite. Shopping at 2 AM was so nice. Fucking grocery prices. Fucking grocery prices. $100 of groceries is basically nothing these days. My waistline. Staffing of healthcare workers. We need more nurses. I am burnt out. Yeah, no, healthcare in the US is gonna crash and burn so hard in the next 5-10 years, I swear. Half the workforce has been there for the last 30 years, the other half just started as soon as that older half leaves and retires. They're gonna need healthcare from the remaining half of the workforce, who will already be prepared to leave in droves. Us healthcare especially. Hospitals are financially incentivized to minimize staff and staff pay, and they often run the burnout business model where they just drive their staff into the ground until they leave as cheaply as possible. It feels like the whole healthcare industry itself is mutating into the very cancer we fight to destroy. Auto industry with new cars. We bought a new car in January 2019 and hoo boy, did we dodge a bullet there. Chinese style food buffets. I just want to eat orange chicken and wontons hungover without talking to anyone. There's a place by my office that only served this peanut butter chicken on their buffet. You couldn't order it for takeout. Full disclosure, I don't even think the dish is remotely Chinese. It was literally like a frozen fried chicken breast sliced and soaked in piping hot peanut butter, but it was so damn good. Last time I was in the office I went to check it out and the buffet was still closed, but guess what had been added to the menu? Life finds a way. Teaching. The students are worse. They are 1-2 years behind, with both knowledge and socialization. Attention spans are shorter. Phones are a major problem. I've been teaching middle school for 27 years or so. The COVID hangover is very real, but I do notice things are getting better a little bit every year. The kids I had back in the fall of 2021 were 80% feral. It was like teaching a pack of hyenas. The supply chain. There are still over a dozen items that I would regularly get at the grocery store that now is on their shelf for a couple of days and then it sits empty for a couple of months until it restocks. And then I hope to be there when it is back. And I know it is a nationwide issue because when the store is out it is also unavailable or tremendously expensive on Amazon from third-party sellers until it is back in stock. What sorts of items do you especially notice that proves this? Come to think of it, I have been more carefully timing my purchases of cat food and litter, and certain favorite foods of my partner. I would say many people's mental health. There was such a big push at the end to move on and put it behind us. We are still unraveling all the mental damage. Everybody's substance abuse ratcheted up too. Especially alcohol use has snuck upward. People don't realize that an average of a drink a day can make you feel more anxious overall because of increased cortisol release. My urge to leave the house. Before COVID I had to go to a mall or someplace each weekend. Now, I barely leave the house. I was just noticing the other day how I just don't go to actual stores anymore, groceries and rarely for clothes because it's easier to try things on sometimes, but that's it. Anything else I order online and it shows up at my door. Got out of practice going to stores during COVID and just never went back. People's horrible driving and lack of patience. Either they're not paying attention or aggressively cutting you off. Yes. Also people just casually run red lights where I live now. It used to be every few weeks I'd see someone do it, now it's literally a daily thing. I'm honestly surprised I haven't seen anyone get into an accident yet because these dumb motherfuckers will just casually drive through a red light 1-3 seconds after it's changed, and I am not exaggerating at all. Just completely selfish behavior. Kinda sucks because I used to enjoy taking a drive every once in a while. Now being on the road just irritates me because of all the idiots who seem determined to kill or hurt someone. Places that never asked for a tip that started asking for tips. I'm not tipping the person that hands me something I need to purchase when all they did was bend down to get said item, scan it and put it in a bag. My whiplash from how fast you're essential we need you here, risking your health and the health of your family so some guy being paid to stay home can come buy supplies to redo his deck turned into you want a living wage? Haha, fuck you Pew. The lockdowns were the biggest upward transfer of wealth in human history. My weight. Same. Every week I say this is the week. Have important events come and go where I told myself 6 months prior that I would be in shape for them. Then it just doesn't happen and another event goes by where I'm thinking the whole time, this would have been much more enjoyable if I wasn't so fat. But maybe this will be the week. Lol. My social skills. I just don't feel like I connect as easily with as many people as before. And I don't want to. I still have a small social circle, but socializing just isn't as seamless or easy as before. Seems daunting. Going places. Doing things. Spending money. I enjoy staying home and having homemade food and drinks and not wasting money on Ubers or whatever. I think after feeling isolated for an extended period of time I'm content to simply exist within my family unit, married, no kids. Also turned 30 during the pandemic, so there's that. The being in my 30s part. The not wanting to struggle is real. I moved back to my hometown in 22, where I had deliberately cut off all of my old friends. Making new friends is so difficult and shitty, especially when I could just not and stay home with my husband, cat, weed, and video games all day instead. But then the isolation makes my depression more crushing, so I have to do the social equivalent of taking a stupid walk for my stupid mental health and go to a game night or something. Typo. Affordable housing. Rent has just kept going up and up. My wife and I went to check out our old apartment for fun because it was our first home together as husband and wife. Rent was $640 for a 2-bedroom 1 bath and the utility bills were $75 for everything. We checked an app for the same bedroom square footage and my heart stopped. They're now asking $1,200. The place was decent but not $1,200 decent. I mean, for fuck's sake, my mortgage is $1.40 for 5 bedrooms and 3 baths. What the hell? I'm scared for young couples because apartments like that allowed us to save money, have our independence, and still provide for our kids with the ability to go out and splurge. My thoughts were, how can a family starting out or wanting to move even afford those god-awful prices? They just can't. I'm disgusted with how things are today in the housing market, whether you own or rent. Civility. My lowered tolerance to other people. I miss being left alone. People not bothering you, no one on road, no one at store. It was so good. The open roads at the beginning were amazing. The world seems colder and I'm a stranger to it. Restaurants. A lot of the old guard of local restaurants and live music venues where I live got shuttered and replaced by chain plus yuppie restaurants. If you work nights, grocery shopping is still pretty well fucking impossible. You've got to either wake up stupid early or stay up stupid late. Even Walmart is still closing in the evening. I know it sounds weird, but it's genuinely difficult if you work most days. If you go a couple weeks without days off, you've got to just pay someone to get your groceries for you. Plus, so many places seem to still have a limited supply of stuff. You go shopping at 7 PM and you'd think it was the day before the apocalypse. No bread, eggs, meat, or milk products left on the shelf. And sometimes it's the shelf-stable products too. I basically have to go shopping early morning on weekends now when I used to be able to go after work. My social abilities.